Well, hello everybody. My name is Steve Arsenault, and I'm the head chanter here at St. George, as most of you probably know. Today is the Vespers preceding a feast day, which is the honoring of the prophet Elisha. And we did 3 readings tonight, and you'll notice this is unusual. Usually in Vespers we don't do readings, but before a feast day, or some major holiday of some kind, we do readings. And when you look at those readings, you see a lot of the theology that filters into the New Testament and the church that's from the Old Testament. Sometimes people say, well, where is the things we do in the Old Testament? And I don't know if you could say much about that in this particular instance, but there are some pretty amazing readings next to feast days in the Vespers. You don't see it any other place, just in Vespers. So it's important before a feast to go to Vespers, because then you'll see these readings, and it's really interesting. In this case, as I mentioned before, the hymns at the end, the dismissal hymns, become the entrance hymns to in the liturgy. So tomorrow, if we had liturgy tomorrow, we would sing the Apolytikion to St. Elijah, and it's becoming a partner with the apostles in a way of life, and successor to their thrones, O God-inspired saint. In the active life you found an entrance to contemplation. Hence you rightly expounded the word of truth, and you shed your blood in struggling for the faith. O Hiero martyr, let's focus. Oh dear. Yep. Okay, let's take a look at the second one, the Apolytikion to the prophet. That will probably be much better. The angel incarnate and the prophet's pedestal, the second forerunner of the coming of Christ, Elias the glorious, sent down to Elisha the divine grace from heaven. He drives away diseases and he cleanses lepers. Therefore, he pours out healings to those who honor him. And remember, there was one of the readings was this healing story. Now, this is in 4th mode. You see that in mode 4? And often these hymns are in 4th mode, as I had mentioned earlier. And here it is, 4th mode. And the second one, the Apolytikion, that's actually for Sunday. We'll be singing that one on Sunday. The choir will be singing that on Sunday, or I'll sing it. So let's take a look at this Apolytikion for the prophet. And this is 4th mode, and it's called soft chromatic 4th mode. And that it says mode 4, vu equals E. Now, you don't have to know the exact, you probably don't know what that means at this point, but that's okay. This tips off the chanter how to sing this. And you don't need a key signature. See, this is Western notation, and with Western notation, you need a key signature. This is actually saying it's in the key of C, and but you don't need to know that in Byzantine chant. You just need to know that it is mode 4, with vu being E, which means it's soft chromatic. So it's the way you tune into it. You go nika bugali, and the first note is vu. Vu the angel incarnate and the prophet pedestal. The second. Now you see, you can get tripped up in the language. You see that? Now, if I didn't do it with music, I only look at the words, then I can sing it in this mode without music. It can't be sung without music. And it's easier in a way if you don't have music. because you're looking both at the music and you're looking at the words, and sometimes you know, things get sticky, and the word the could be the, and then the vowels are often the things that trip us up. So let me start it over again. The angel incarnate and the prophets bestow, the second forerunner of the coming of Christ, Elias the glorious, sent down to Elisha the divine grace from heaven. He drives away diseases and he cleanses lepers. Therefore he pours out healings to those who honor him. Now I'm going to have you sing the Eson. And Eson is a bass note, and there's only going to be one note that you have to sing. There's a bass note, and it's usually at the end of a sentence you pick it up. So sometimes you'll see the chanters, they're fumbling around. They don't know where the Eson is. But then when you get to the end of the sentence, they know where it is, and they plug it in there. Now that assumes that the chanter who's doing the melody line ends the period, at the complete thought, he puts it at the Eson, which is the bass note, which is what he's supposed to do. At any rate, the Eson is ooh. So do that. Ooh, just hold that note. Okay, ooh. And I'm going to sing. Oh, the angel incarnate and the prophets bestow, the second forerunner of the coming of Christ, Elias the glorious, sent down to Elisha the divine grace from heaven. He drives away diseases and he cleanses lepers. Therefore he poured out healings to those who honor him. Okay, I tell you what, why don't we sing this, and then we'll go to the Apolytikion for Sunday, and you'll see that there's similarities, because this is a dismissal hymn that's an entrance hymn. Okay, so let's sing this one together. I'll go slower. The angel incarnate and the prophet bestow, the second forerunner of the coming of Christ, Elias the glorious, sent down to Elisha the divine grace from heaven. He drives away diseases and he cleanses lepers. Therefore he pours out healings to those who honor him. Okay, you've got this. Now often, when we're doing these feast day things, you're going to see it in fourth tone. It happens, but there are other ones as well. Now let's do the other one, which is the Apolytikion for Sunday. And you notice it's also in fourth mode. This says it says soft chromatic, see? Did you see that up in the upper left-hand corner? It says soft chromatic. That's the family. There's diatonic, chromatic, and harmonic families of scales. And this is the soft chromatic scale, exactly the same as the other one. You notice on the other page it said soft chromatic. It's the same. So this one says, becoming a partner with the apostles in a way of life and successor to their thrones, O God-inspired saint. In the active life you found an entrance to contemplation. Hence you rightly expounded the word of truth, and you shed your blood in struggling for the faith. O Hieromartyr, focus. Intercede with Christ our God, beseeching him to save our souls. Now, as you probably know, in the Orthodox Church, there are hundreds of saints. Every day, there's probably 25 or more saints for every day. We only usually do 1, 2, or 3. And if you go into the GoArch digital chanters stand, you go into the GoArch website, you see just a few of the saints. But there's really a lot more than that. And in this one, usually it's like they take one of the major ones, and that's the one they use. And this is going to be sung on Sunday. And my guess is that I will probably do it because the choir won't be rehearsing, and so they won't be practicing this. So the choir director, Denise, will probably defer to me to do it. So this way we can practice it, so I can practice it. See, you're helping me here. Okay, so this is a dismissal hymn, an entrance hymn for a saint. Just like the other one was for Elijah, this is for the Saint Phocas. And we could look him up and see what his exemplary life is, okay? So let's sing, I'll sing this now, and then we'll have you sing it, and then we'll go out for ice cream. On Scott. Becoming a partner with the apostles in a way of life, and successor to their throne, so God-inspired saint, in thy active life you found an entrance to contemplation. Hence you rightly expounded the word of truth, and you shed your blood in struggling for the faith. O Hiram Mater, Phocas, intercede with Christ our God, beseeching him to save our souls. Now notice that in the structure, they usually, at the end, it usually beseech God to save our souls. You beseech God, please intercede, ask God to save our souls. And this we can do for anybody who's passed on. It doesn't have to be a saint, it can be a relative or whatever. And I've often done that, where you ask your relative to please speak to God to save my soul, to save me. And so often you see this, intercede with Christ our God, beseeching him to save our souls. This is often a final line in these hymns, in the structure. In somewhere in the middle describes what the saint was noted for. And often at the beginning you see it's kind of an introduction, that he's an apostle, and he was God-inspired saint, and like that. So it's a little bit of a descriptor. So let's just sing this, and we'll be done. We'll be done. Oh, by the way, you see when chanting, one thing that I do is try to keep a note in my head, even though I'm not singing it. And that note is, in this case, is a G. You see the second note? Becoming. See that? Now whenever you see that note in that place on the staff, you know you need to be D. So if you get lost, you can D, get to that note, because this note's up here. So it's a technique. With a little bit of practice, it's not that difficult to do, and you can, wherever you go, you're going to find a D, especially in a comma. That's the note for the comma. The first note is the note for the period. That's the ison note. You see in this page here, the second note says E. That's the ison, E. So how about we'll sing it together? How about that? Becoming a partner with the apostles in the way of life, and successor to their thrones, bow God-inspired saint, in in the active life you found an entrance to contemplation. Hence you rightly expounded the word of truth, and you shed your blood in struggling for the faith. O Harum Mater, focus, intercede with Christ our God, beseeching him to save our souls. Any questions? Any thoughts? Anyway, you did a marvelous job. You can keep these pages and practice it up, and you can get soft chromatic fourth tone down just like that. It's wonderful. It comes up a lot. Be in the chanter start in no time. And usually what happens is you start as a reading. You read things, and you get kind of used to reading in public. And then you do the Ison, and they just hum one note, and then it's the beginning to venture into doing some of the tunes. That's the basic. That's the ancient method of doing it. Not music like this. But anyway, have a good evening, everybody.